Dang it, Corbin. Okay, we're back up again. Now I just gotta...
Bird it around again.
Yes!
Chat and chill with Izumi.
I'm back.
Welcome back, Riku. My stream went...
Welcome back.
My other stream went down, so I had to redo it.
Oh, start it back up.
Well, I've got some news.
Fire.
Hey, Corbin.
Hello.
What's the news?
I got some news.
What might that be?
I'm probably going away from college.
Nice.
But I had to leave the U.S.
Yeah, so, so what? You get to do like one of them international kind of college deals or something?
I had, yes, something like that. Something like that.
Guys, I need my mods. I need my mods.
Where are the mods?
Corbin, you're one of them, I think.
Bart, not since the last time.
But probably.
Well, Corbin, you're gonna be made one.
Okay.
You just gotta type something.
But yeah, I'll probably leave or fine.
There he goes. Okay. Now, there's a Saiyan princess. Hello.
There she is.
Hello. I'm sorry. My other stream went down. I'm sorry.
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot something.
Also, Sebi. Kylie's server. There's a Danganronpa character. I don't know who it is.
We don't know who it is, but you're going to get it.
Waifu bot.
Waifu bot and Kylie's server.
What?
Month?
Type it in the messages so I can actually, because I want to claim her.
Door!
Oh, Kaede.
I want her.
You write the full name of it too? Okay.
I need her. Oh,
Hold
got it!
First time live.
I got it!
Okay.
Hey, girl.
No, it's not her. That's not her. That's not Kaede. Because Kaede...
That's the ultimate Hulk's little sister, the character that popped up.
What is her name?
Where is that? Missy. Makoto's sister. Oh, here it is. Here you go.
What's her name? What's her name? What's her name?
I'll put it in the chat so you can get it. Here.
Okay.
Komaru Naegi, that's what it is.
Oh, that was funny.
Yay! I finally got a Danganronpa character.
There we
Want
go.
to hear something really creepy?
What?
Yes.
I heard a yes.
Do it.
Okay, so hold on. I did this voice a couple of days ago, that kind of creeped out one of the older students that's been here. You know the line from Annabelle?
Let's not bring up Annabelle.
Yeah.
Oof.
I like your pretty dog.
No, don't you dare! I will just clean
You
you,
creeped
sister.
Riku out.
Don't you dare! I will disown you if you do that again.
No, you wouldn't. You love me too much, Riku.
When I
Oh,
ask
hey, there's a Myra.
when I ask for someone not to do something from a horror film, please don't do it.
Alright,
I do not like Annabelle. I do not like any horror shit game like that or movie or anything like that. Please do not do that again. I literally almost threw my headphones off.
How you open this darn box?
You know what? That's what makes it funny. Now that I'm actually, it makes it so much better. The fact that I know I'm not the only one who does not like horror.
Riku.
Let's see.
Oh wait, you do have a blankie.
It makes me feel so much better.
It's an eye. You have
Mark.
to input the code
Yeah,
exactly as
Yeah,
it is.
you
Riku.
put an F. You put an F in the second one.
Can we get an F in the chat, please? And thank you.
And then
God,
and then you didn't capitalize the G in the first
What are you doing?
No, in the first,
You're
no,
not
in the
using your
first one he
brain.
tried. He didn't capitalize anything. He just did IZADUGPS.
Yeah, you need to it's very case sensitive. Next time pay attention.
Gosh, dang it!
Where'd Locks
Gosh.
go?
Damn it!
He
I don't know.
disconnected. You might get disconnected. He probably coming back.
There we go.
Hi, Warrior!
Sorry, had to
I'll be
fix my
right
Discord
back.
again.
Okay, man.
It wasn't showing
Where
to
are you
everyone.
going? Boy!
Freya from Ruby.
So
What?
Freya, the red hair girl. Pira. Yeah, Pira.
so
There we go, Sonia.
Sebi, I put it in
God
the
damn it,
chat.
I
I
can't
chat
find.
with Izumi. Can you share this in CL's server? Because you can, I can't.
I'll do it. Just give me a bit.
Anyway, now what I was saying, Myra, was just send me like photos that you want for me to reference off of, like what kind of hairstyle you're wanting for the character, and all that stuff. Cause I have a thing that I can use.
Oh, that was Neon. She said she's eating dinner, so she'll be right back. After she finishes eating.
Sorry, I got hit with a sudden urge to go to the restroom, but I'm back.
We didn't need to know that.
Well, if I don't tell y'all where I went, then y'all probably on me about not saying anything.
I mean, you do kind of have a point there, but still.
It's
Kinda.
nice I gotta hit the restroom and nobody says anything about it. Surprising.
Don't say me like that. What's up with you? What's up with you?
Yes.
Okay, Saiyan Princess.
Fire.
Saiyan Princess had to go.
Ah, okay. Ugh.
Excuse me. Sorry. One thing's for sure, I know my sister's probably gonna want this character to be in UA, so.
Got him.
What?
What?
What Riku said.
No, I'm playing. I'm playing the game right now, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you get on Warframe Kage, I'll give you the stuff you need, the mods with your Warframe, your weapons, because it's really helpful. Alright. Got you. This gun is so freaking cool. Oh, you.
Read. Ow.
You got.
So, sis, are you wanting this character to be part of UA?
Burr. Burr.
It's a Rin!
There's a Rin.
You're all a bunch of freaking nerds.
Hey
You're the
now.
nerd here.
Hey now. If you're gonna be saying that, then you get your butt in stream.
And I can't breathe. Holy shit.
Ow.
Holy crap.
Dying over here. Jesus.
Okay.
When I came in here.
Got that.
Riku, why are you turned down so low?
Who knows?
Good lord.
What?
Good lord, help me.
Someone's fucking turned up for me.
What? I'm focusing right now.
Focus on.
Ooh.
Oops, Duran, and
Ooh. Ooh, I like all these hairstyles. Holy crap.
Jesus Christ, I'm summoning. I'm hearing just a bunch of Discord notifications.
Mine.
Oh my.
Just.
it's like a shot. It's like a gunshots right there. That's what it sounds like. Okay, sniper.
Why is someone not talking?
Oh, we got
It's
sniper.
weird.
Sis, whatever, with those little hairstyles that you have, can you send each one of those that you have to my Facebook? Because I actually want to look through all those.
head shines and I'm happy.
Guys, look at this hairstyle. Look at this. This is beautiful when it gets to it.
We're flying to the moon.
Guys, look at that hairstyle.
Damn,
Whoa.
Oh,
that is a
nice.
freaking amazing hairstyle.
Yes, it is.
Aaron,
Yes?
funny enough, Riku rode the pony in anime verse.
But
He rode
I
Autumn
always knew
Blaze.
Riku liked ponies.
where?
He rode Autumn Blaze in the mood I bought.
Let me look. Let me look. Let me look.
What? Wait, you said in Family Verse, friend?
Yeah. No, anime verse.
I had to react to it in general because Autumn Blaze is actually a really good Kieran character.
Ah!
Wah! Yourself.
Ah! Welcome to Aaron's streams. We'll make the weirdest of fucking noises here. What do you think you want?
So sis, is that black ombre going into a pink? Is that what that is? I think it's a black going into an ombre. Yep, it's black to pink. Okay.
What? Oh.
Ooh, Zaneri. You got Fluttershy.
A human
At least this one is
equestrian
serious.
girl.
Barb.
Max?
Hmm?
Max, you okay? You sound weird.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Bull crap. I smell bull crap.
No, I just need to make sure this phone's symmetrical. Don't judge me.
Oh,
Dead.
it's
you're-
death.
You're not symmetrical.
Oh my god.
Oh, come here. Come here, kid. Come here. Give me a hug.
Don't touch me.
Put
It's
his
okay,
head between your
Kid, it's okay.
chest things.
You're symmetrical.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Oh, I love this.
No, I am not. No.
He's never symmetrical. What are you talking about?
Especially with those freaking lines on in his hair.
Nah.
Yeah.
He tried to get rid of those, but it grew back.
Again, starts from Time Force.
Yeah, I noticed that.
You got a yokai.
Last time I rolled a
from
Kimberly.
Yokai Watch.
Ow.
From Power Rangers.
Ooh, you got a succubus.
Put it back out here.
It belongs to me anyway. She belongs to me anyway.
What, the little size noodle?
No, Lily from S&H.
Oh.
Oh, by the gods, why?
Because. I see, that's why.
Max, you are not tired. You are.
Oh, you got him Mabel's Maywile.
Somehow I am.
Max is a scrub.
He is
I
a
am not.
scrub.
I am not a scrub. I don't know what you're
You
talking
are a
about.
scrub.
It's hard to pick in
By the
between
way,
these
Max,
three.
did you have a nice sleep?
It was okay. It was better than what I thought I was going to get.
He probably didn't sleep at all.
Shut up, Corbin.
How about no?
How
God
about
damn it,
yes?
Cuddy.
Ooh. Wait. Oh no!
Oh, Anna from Frozen.
What did I roll her? What the heck?
Wait, are we letting it go?
Shut up. Oh, can't. Copyright. Copyright.
I didn't sing the song, so.
Still
Still.
mentioning it.
YouTube wants to get that sensitive about it, they can fight me.
And god damn it, Toddy, you took one of the waifus from Keijo.
No, no.
Hey.
Ooh, Draco. You can't claim him. You can't claim.
Arr. There's a woman.
You can't claim her. Sorry. I just waiting.
Riku, somebody? I don't know. Maybe.
Do you want me to claim it
Where?
for you?
Yes.
In
Right.
in the new mood, and never mind.
There. Do you want
Yes.
See, one of my wife.
Never mind.
Let me see.
I
I
still hate her for being
one of
a
my wife and
complete
you
douche.
kind of know you get consequences for it.
What?
See, oh, I don't know who that. I don't know who that is.
Draco?
That's a she.
Yeah, Draco's a she.
He's basically a
Wow.
Dryden
Oh
girl.
wow.
Oh, Saber!
Where?
In the new mood
In
I bought. Wait,
Waifu Paradise.
Rika's not in it.
Oh
You-
shit. I'll invite you, buddy.
Don't take it from me, please. Someone get it from me, please. Please,
I'm
someone
not
get
gonna
it.
take it from
There.
you. I'm gonna invite. There, girl. Did you invite
Riku,
him?
hurry up and accept the invite and head into mood I bought. Vámonos!
Vámonos, muchachos!
You got your saber.
Yeah, my, and she could go to a Lancer too, and I know what a Lancer looks like.
Would you just hurry it up?
Too
Hurry
late.
up, you fucking this is Pocky.
He's too late.
Jerk.
He's too late. The 30 seconds has passed.
He really wants to swear now, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, he does.
You have to click the heart, dummy.
He did.
He did. It just the
Oh my
30 seconds was
God.
over. The 30-second timeline was
Damn it.
over.
That's what you get, buddy. That's what you
That's
get.
what you fucking get.
I want to cuss now. I really want to cuss. I really want to keep replaying her
You
now.
can't. You're on stream.
We started swearing at the beginning, but just don't do it too much. Aaron doesn't really give a crap.
Honestly, it doesn't really matter anymore at this
Oh my
point.
just
God, I
don't
hope
do it too
Sun
much.
gets to.
Oh god. Think about the back. Think about the back. Think about the back.
What the?
Sure, don't do too much with it.
You got cuss. I got it.
Yes.
Fire.
Yumi. From Hi Hat Puppy over Yumi.
Katana from DC.
Damn it!
Dawn from Pokemon.
Hey, Riku.
What?
Riku.
What?
He's gonna save.
Hey, Hokage.
I can't.
Oh yeah, you can't. Damn it. Fuck.
Gadget
You
from
saw I tried
Chippendale.
claiming Draco, but I couldn't.
What about Max? Can he claim anything?
Max isn't in there.
Gadget from Chippendale in the Retro Warrior server if anyone wants her.
Hey,
But
Max.
Ren, could you give me Draco? And Ren, I
Yes,
just
I will
said
give you
Max
Draco.
isn't
God
in
damn
the
it.
server. And yes, he did. Ren, you claimed Draco.
Actually, I think I am in the retro one. No, I'm not.
No, not the
Oh,
Retro
Waifu
Warriors. The
Paradise.
new mood I bought server that Lux made.
Nope, none of that. Nope. Yeah, well,
Well, I sent the invite that's in the
it
group.
was the name
I'll
of the
look at it
character,
in a
right?
second.
First.
Draco.
I know it was Draco. to start the trade?
Yes. Well, no. You just do $give, and then you at me. Then I'll ask who you want to give me, and then you just say her name Draco, and it'll ask. Then it'll say a message.
Hey, wasn't Draco in your wish list?
In my server, yes.
So that's one
Still
of the
doesn't matter. You
waifus
still get
got
her
for
either way. So
And if y'all don't believe me that she's a she, there you go.
She's flat-chested. I just realized.
She's very. She's an.
What's
She's an
what's
A
wrong
cup.
with flat chested?
She's
I
an
was
A
gonna
cup.
say, what is wrong with flat chested,
I'm
woman?
not saying that because I am.
No, Rin. She's an A cup.
Oh,
Okay, why are we talking about boob size now?
wait. This is King of all reptiles, and she's a she.
In the show, she referenced herself as the king of all monsters
that's cool.
because she's a Draco. She's a Draco newt, but she calls it a dragon.
Okay, you have you're rolling some bad. I'm just kidding.
I'm not getting any good ones. This sucks.
You're getting all girls.
Because
Okay,
he's
hold
doing
on.
the waifu. Because he's doing waifu rolling.
Ooh,
Steins Gate, Velma
Two used
from
to the
Scooby
left.
Doo.
Make it. Wow,
Yondo, really?
Yondu.
Hey, you know what's
And-
funny? You know who plays Yondu?
Mother-
It's the Daryl's brother who plays Yondu.
Girl.
Motherfucker!
Riku.
My bad. I didn't know you was doing. My bad.
Damn it! I'm on Yuma. Fuck.
Too bad.
Ah, brother.
What the? The Devil's Temptation.
Huh? They are no game, no life.
What the
I might pick her if I
Arcadia.
don't get a
Okay.
Tokyo Mew Mew.
There.
Oh, Necrozma.
And this is why I do not deal with bots.
SAO. Trigger X.
Okay, KO, let's be here.
Okay, go ahead, Riku.
Riku.
Robot Girl Z. Batgirl
Holy crap.
DC.
Stop spamming! Holy crap!
Hang on,
She
guys.
just
Jane.
copies and pastes it.
Hang on, guys. I'm gonna put the stream on pause for a moment. So hang on,
Right.
guys.